Welcome back to WornOut Racing. I've sold the turbo, we'll get into that in a minute, but in today's episode, I'm going to be showing you my new car, and it's just there in fact. That's right, anyone who's followed me on social media will have already have seen me posting up things about me putting the car up for sale, selling it, telling everyone that it's sold, but anyone who didn't know that, I've sold it. It's gone to Ireland. It's gone to a good guy out there who's going to, I think, have a lot of fun with it. He's already got two other Cinquecentos. He's got a T-Jet and a completely bone stock 900cc one. So I've got no worries it's going to a good home, and I just really hope he enjoys it. And I suppose really, I didn't really know what to do after I sold the turbo car. I was kind of like, do I give up on Fiats completely? Do I have a complete change? And I was this close. I was really close. I started looking at other cars. There are other cars I would like to own. And a lot of them, I'll be honest with you, the one reason I sold the turbo really was that I lost a lot of opportunities to own a lot of other cars. Everything I want to own now is just too expensive. And I've basically ruined my chances of having some of my cars from holding on to it for too long. That's why I decided to get rid. I thought now is the time to try something new. But in the end, I'll be honest, I've not really ventured very far at all. An opportunity came up and I decided to have one last crack at the Fiat Whip. And I thought, if I can't have fun in this, I can't have fun in any of them. If it works out well, it'll stick around for a long time. If it doesn't, I'll sell it and I'll get something else interesting. But before I waffle on too much, let's just show you the thing.
Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. Here we go, making really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. It's so icy, 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 on my neck combination, 새로운가 간지 머리 swag, 남들이 잘 때도 쓸어담지, breaking good, life is good, 한동안 잊었어 이 느낌을.
Yeah, I bought another Fiat Cinquecento. I mean, it's probably not a massive shock to a lot of you. I mean, the channel is mostly Fiat Cinquecentos and Fiat-related things. You will know how much fun I had in the Slug, my 899, basically bone stock engine, slightly tweaked budget fun habit I had before. It was immense. Track days were wicked. It never went wrong. Great on fuel. It was just good. It was just non-problematic, or unproblematic, I should say. And this car, some of you will recognise it. It's been on the groups for a long time. It used to be owned by a guy called Charlie. And my mate Chris bought it off him quite a while ago. I don't know if anyone knew that. Now, any views that I express about this car over the coming episodes, or now, are not meant to be horrible, right? They are purely my opinion, down to personal taste. And I'm going to be highlighting things that are wrong with it. That's true. I'm not saying it to be mean. That's just the truth. When Chris got the car, it still had the basically bone stock 900cc engine in it. And that was struggling. The clutch was going. The alternator was gone. It had quite a lot of sensors out as well. And again, like styling wise, again, I'm more of the sort of frame of mind that I like things quite simple. This car was, fairly over the top. It's got a lot of colour coding on it. We'll get into that again later as well. Now, the one difference between when people knew about this car and when my mate Chris bought it is he actually bought it with an engine as well. Quite a special engine, which we'll get into in a minute. He then proceeded to pay quite a lot of money to get that engine refreshed, gearbox done, clutch done, all the sensors, all the alternator, all those problems. Did all those bits, and then I'll be honest, kind of lost a bit of enthusiasm for it. He got an Alfa 145, wicked little car, and he's more into that now. So in steps me with my new slightly swelled bank balance, and I've snapped it up. I'm going to give you all the plans and all the ideas for the car, but fundamentally, this car is going to be basically like the Slug on steroids. It's going to be a much quicker, much higher spec version of the Slug, but I'm not going to take it too seriously. I'm not going to spend a fortune on it. In fact, I've gone through my huge stash of stuff, and somewhere under all this box is pretty much all of the things that I need to make this car decent. I'll go into all those at some point rather than me waffling on too much now, but I'm going to stop this part of the video and I'm going to cover the car front to back, tell you about what engine it's got, the chassis spec, interior, and then we'll go into some future plans. But first, before I do anything else on this car, I'm going to flip and wash it, but I'm going to show you what it's like before and after. Okay, now be kind. It needs a lot of love. Like I said, you can see where it's had a lot of graphics. You can see where it's been worked on by a lot of mechanics because it is dirty and oily. It's got plenty of dents, plenty of love. We are going to sort that out a treat. That's much better. Now, the polish on this is a little ropey in places, and it's had a lot of oily hands on it, so it's actually sort of ingrained into the paint a little bit. So I will get the metal polisher out at some point, get the old T-cut and stuff on there, and actually go over it properly. I do have some ideas with changing a lot of the styling on this anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And it's a car to use, so I'm not going to worry about the old little dent and stuff. But before we go any further, let's touch on this engine that I was talking about before we put anything on it, take anything off. Like I said at the beginning, I don't want to make it seem like I'm being down on Charlie for some of his styling choices and stuff like that, because it's his car, he can do whatever the hell he wants to it. It's only my opinion. But one thing I will say is he was crazy enough to source a load of engine parts. Like, generally speaking, you know, most people would not sink this kind of money into a 900cc, but he absolutely loved them. And he never quite got around to actually doing the engine conversion himself. So I'm going to flip the camera around, I'm going to tell you what we're working. Now, at first glance, it looks like any old 899cc, but it's not. Now, this is fundamentally a Trofeo engine. So anybody who doesn't know, Trofeo is effectively like a rally discipline, I suppose, in mainland Europe. Generally, this is obviously what they race in the Trofeo series. Obviously, there's limitations to it, like any other rally series or anything, but this is a 903cc. It's got bigger valves, ported and polished head. The inlet manifold on these, because it's built into the kind of rocker cover, that's been enlarged throttle body. It's got upgraded cams, adjustable cam pulley. This one's got a 421 manifold, sports cap, full exhaust system. It's not on there, but I've also got, this is part of probably the rarest bit, I suppose, is the actual ECU from the Trofeo series. So this one's been tuned for this spec. So obviously they're all controlled and stuff like that. But that one, the fueling and everything has been increased to be able to run this sort of stuff. And it's got a, well, very rare and very expensive, like lower final drive in the gearbox. So generally speaking, I don't know what kind of power this is supposed to make. I think they're going to make around sort of between 70 and 80, depending if you get them running right. This one's obviously got the stock airbox on it. I believe the Trofeo one that Charlie had got nicked in transit, so we only got like a small bit of it. But I've got something special lined up for that anyway. Slightly controversial as far as how I'm going to have to make it fit. But otherwise, it should be an absolute screamer. It runs pretty good at the moment. It's still on the stock ECU, so obviously this probably can't cope. At some future date, we'll go to HAD to get a power run done, and I'll do it with the stock ECU, and I'll do it with the Trofeo one, and we'll just see whether it's like over fueling or running okay. It would definitely benefit from an ECU, but let's not get into that again after the turbo. So yeah, so this is the main reason I bought it. I mean, the amount of fun I had with my 900cc one before, this thing should be absolutely ballistic compared to it. Now, things to note, I'm not a massive fan, and sorry to anyone out there that likes colour-coded or coloured silicone hose and stuff. I don't like them. It's not really my kind of thing. I prefer this all to look a lot kind of neater and OEM-y style things. So, you know, things like the painted battery cover and like this like white vinyl and the ECU painted and stuff like that. That's all going. I've got a cover for this and stuff as well. But otherwise, it needs a new O2 sensor and a damn good service, because from what I can gather, the coolant that came out of this was not nice. Even after having some new stuff in it, it came out pretty ropey. So I'm going to chuck some treatment stuff through it and get all that done. As for the rest of the car, it's got a strut brace for the top. It's got 2 strut braces on the rear. I've got a strut brace to go in the back. It's got the Avo adjustable coilovers off of my turbo one. Again, I've got the fronts fitted because I had to swap them over. I just need to go on for the back of it. I've got a custom rear anti-roll bar to go on the back of it as well. I've got upgraded brake pads, but I will be doing the calipers and the braided lines. And at some point, potentially, because these RFX wheels I've got sat under there, are one of the few wheels that you can run a 13 and the bigger brake from like an Alfa Romeo or a Punto GT Turbo or something. So that's probably going to happen. I've got upgraded cooling. I've got oil cooler, all number of things in there that we'll get to at some point. Now, one of the cool things about this car, I will be honest, I didn't think I'd like it, and I'm still on the fence whether I think it suits this era car or not. Oh yeah, look, check it out. Cheeky Arbath wheel, which is pretty good. And again, look, you know, I'm not into this. Oh, sorry, I'm not into this all color code and stuff. So again, I'm pretty lucky that I'm a hoarder, because I've got black versions of this. Because you'll notice it is a very early black dash one, which I'm buzzing about. And I've got some new pods to go in as well to get rid of those, and I'll probably get rid of the center console and all this leather's going as well. But look, check this out. 500 Arbath seats, which I believe Charlie pocketed brand new. I think his wife might have bought them for him and actually paid brand new for it. It's got the rears in there. Not that matters too much, because I'll probably take them out and make a seat for my house or something out of it. But all in all, it's pretty tidy in there. It's not too bad. It needs damn good clean. And a few little bits tweaking and changing. I mean, I might need to change that wheel. As much as I like it, it probably needs a dished wheel in it, really. And I've got a Sparco bucket seat to go in there for track days and harnesses. And that check strap on there is proper like rusted, so I'm gonna have to sort that out. Now, I think it's mandatory for any YouTube channel or any person for that fact to have some kind of nickname for their car. Obviously, the Slug was the Slug because it was low, silver, and slow. And for various other reasons, cars normally pick up a name. Now, I'm gonna tell you what the name of this is. Again, it's not meant to be insulting. When we got the car, me and Chris were basically making jokes before he even really got it and went through it, that, oh God, we hope it's not a lemon, you know, oh God, I hope it's not a lemon, because he hadn't bought a Fiat Cinquecento for ages, and he was really hyped about it. And then every time he found any little problem, I would always joke, like, oh, you've got a lemon, it's going to be a lemon, just winding him up. And in the end, the name stuck. So we've always just referred to it as the lemon. Now, and that's in the most endearing way possible. So from now on, this is the lemon. So welcome to the WornOut Racing family. Hopefully you enjoy the car, and just keep your eyes peeled for loads more stuff on this. It's not going to be in my garage for very long, probably about a week. And every time you see it from that point onwards, it's either going to be briefly in here or out doing some driving for a change. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you like my little Trofeo Cinquecento, and I will see you all soon. It's disgusting. It's £1. It's a big one, 150.